Okay, we have Marja Kangroo here in Ventspils, Estonian writer, poet, translator. You are a very diverse author, yeah?
Well, I hope so. Looks like that. Yeah, but deciding by the fields in which I have been active, yes, you can say so.
But you started as a translator and then you converted into poet, which is an interesting way to do. Sometimes, more often, I think poets start to translate something just to survive, but you had the opposite scenario.
Yes, I think first I started translating just because of money. As a student, I needed a job that would be comfortable enough that wouldn't really disturb my studies with a flexible schedule. So I started to translate, and first it was just what the publishing houses gave me. So I translated anything. But later on, I started to choose more and more, and then at a certain point, I already felt that okay, I have been translating other people's works for such a long time, and actually, I asked myself, am I any worse than these people that I'm translating? I could create something myself.
And
so it was kind of a reaction. Yeah. I think so. Kind of a narcissism made me finally write my own stuff.
But you translated Umberto Eco and some nice Italian poets and.
Yeah, I have translated quite a few Italian poets. Well, starting from the Middle Ages, Jacopone da Todi, and then I have translated their classical poet Leopardi, and then very many contemporary Italian poets, and they have all influenced me as well, I think. This is also important. It's something like well, a workshop for yourself, that you don't get too isolated in your own world, but you're always like in a communication with other people as well, other creative minds.
Yeah, which is in modern literature, it's sometimes hard to find where it all goes, and then it's easy to be isolated if you don't have some links, or if you don't see connections. But
yeah, I think this for that reason it's also important to write some reviews or some criticism every now and then. Just to get deeper into other people's minds and their way of thinking. Because I feel that if I've been just writing my own stuff for a long time without like getting any deeper into other people's works, it gets to be kind of monotonous or boring, or I have to get fresh blood for somewhere else.
Yeah, and on Estonian literature page, I found that your poetry is called not only intellectual, but also the nice word irritating, and I was surprised. Because on official level, like irritating poetry. Was it misprint or no? What they meant by it?
Why should it have been a misprint? No, it was. I think they meant it quite straightforwardly. So, irritating in the sense of some provocation, probably. Yes, it's. I like to write things, and I even think that this is the right thing to do, to write things that would challenge the reader, that would make the reader feel uncomfortable. I mean, but I think this tradition of being irritating or a kind of provocative is also much more widespread in Estonia than it is in Latvia, probably. we have poets who make whole collections of poetry out of offense and insult towards other colleagues.
With what means? Where is that irritation?
The irritation is usually, of course, I'm not really directly insulting anybody.
People,
no, not really. But this may happen when I'm kind of challenging their world, their picture of the world, or some sanctity, some holy concepts, and
like,
when I'm
for example, some holy concept.
Everything connected to the national identity, for example, these sanctities, and of course any kind of cultural stereotypes, gender roles, whatever. Mm-hmm. And I also, sometimes like to scare people in my poetry a little bit, just to make things sound strange. Or
thanks to Maima Greenberga and publishers, Rose Publishers, there is your novel Glass Child is published in Latvia, so readers in Latvia, some know you because of that book, and sometimes I have a feeling that because of Maima, we know Estonian literature better than Estonians know Latvian literature.
Oh yeah, Maima is like a real gift to the Estonian culture, because I also think that mostly she's like a very good filter for Estonian literature. Because usually people can rely on what she chooses to translate. And she works a lot. She has done so much already, like for a young woman as she is, but she has already achieved so much. And of course the other person is Guntar Skodiņš, who is doing quite a lot. But I'm very thankful to Maima that she translated my documentary novel.
Because in Glass Child I found that very nice language, how to speak about problems, that it's not over emotional, it's not like women's magazine language, but it's very sort of straight. I think that it's a sort of ideal modern language for that.
Oh, thank you. This sounds like a
it's sort of
huge compliment to me.
I wanted to say that it's sort of a small compliment, but what do you think? What did that book do with to yourself? Did it help you?
Of course it did. Yeah, certainly. Writing about it had a therapeutic effect on me, because this topic, like losing a child, discovering that something is wrong with the fetus during a long-awaited pregnancy, it's a serious thing, and it's this kind of trauma work is very important, I think, and the writing helps a lot. Of course, it was like, but I think partly it was for my own reasons that I wrote about it, but then I started to hear from so many people that they had experienced something similar, and very few of them really had dared to openly speak about it, because it's still something like not really a taboo, but it's something that people think may affect the image that they have in the eyes of the others, or may
it's a fear that I'm not okay.
Yeah, I'm not okay, of course. Yeah, it's like, okay, and something is seriously wrong with me if I have an offspring who has a developmental disorder or misdevelopment. So it's like it's a sign that something might be very deeply biologically wrong with me too. So I then heard from some couples that when something like that was discovered, then the other, either it was the man or the woman, told the partner not to talk about it to anybody, not even to friends. So people sometimes are really afraid of expressing themselves, and so I felt that this was something that had to be spoken about publicly in our society.
So, and the next book will be?
The next book is a poetry collection that I just finished here in Ventspils and sent away to my editor. So he's reading it now. And then I have a couple of articles and short stories to work upon here.
Hello, friends. Hello. Today we have two authors, two poets, two translators, and the one is from Estonia, Marja Pratna, and Džeids, Tomass, Will. Are you from where are you actually?
From the US.
You are from US. Okay. I wonder how it is that you are free of Soviet time memories, but you are already an author of 3 poetry books.
So I think the biggest difference is that you don't have to read between the lines anymore. So during the Soviet time, you might have like a hidden message there. But now people don't look at poetry like that anymore.
Yeah, but it's very nice to have something between the lines. That's the main reason why you have lines, no?
Yeah, but you probably don't have a political message there.
With the 3rd book, it's believed that your voice as a poet is more or less established. Mm-hmm. And then afterwards you sort of fight with that load that you have already, that you are created your own language, and now the question is where this language, how far it now go,
Mm-hmm. So I think all of my 3 books have been somewhat different from each other. So the style is somewhat different in each of them. I have longer poems in my 2nd book. In my 3rd book, I had shorter poems, and the style was, I think, more specific, less narrative, perhaps.
Narrative by who is narrator?
I don't really have like specific characters, so you can have a voice, a lyric voice that is speaking. When something happens, some kind of an event is there, that is happening.
And you have, but you have also. It's not only human voice. I think. I saw that you've been translated William Carlos Williams.
Mm-hmm. So I had translations of Williams's poems in my 2nd book, and I was really interested in the Imagist's style of his writing. So I like my poems to be, when you read them, I like them to be, I like when you can see them in your mind's eye. So I like visual style very much. So I translated some of his poems to go together with mine. And what I also did was I took, for example, the red wheelbarrow, sort of migrated into my poem. So I played around with the imagery.
This means that you are easy to translate?
How do you feel about it?
Well, I think I'm very lucky that I can ask questions and we can work on the poems and make them as English as possible. Because I think if you are translating authors that you don't have any direct contact with, it's more difficult. You don't know how far you can go with the translation, you know. You don't know how bold you can actually be. And we talked about this when we started putting together a manuscript last year. I think there's always a danger when you translate something that you kind of stick too close to the words, and it's not the words, it's the idea behind it. And, you know, we're constantly working together, translating. We put it to the side for a while. We look at it again. We cut out these words that you don't need. And it's just a process, you know.
It's actually maybe not even translation, it's rewriting the same poem, trying to rewrite that poem in another language.
Some people look at it like that, you know, but it's still a process, you know. Like, I don't know what you want. I don't have like a philosophy of what I want to call it. I just know that it's a process, and I'm very happy that we can work together on that. Because otherwise I think then it would be extremely difficult.
This theme, social theme about Estonians abroad, it's a question which appears on interviews and somewhere else, in prose or also in the poetry.
It's in poetry too. In my last book I had a cycle of poems.
Third, not last, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you never know.
Yeah.
But in my third book, I had a cycle of poems titled Magnolia, which was about an Estonian-American family living in southwest United States and putting down roots there. And so this topic is there, yes.
Is there any solution for us? There will be always some people abroad. Mm-hmm. So maybe, do you think it's worth to call them back? Maybe we just let's replace these people with better people, as Džeids, for example. No?
I don't know if we should tell them to come back, but we shouldn't push them away. So this is my opinion on that. In Estonia, there was a few years ago, there was a politician who came up and said, these people who are going abroad are mugavuspagulased, which means these are people going into exile because it's more comfortable there. So it was a very simplistic and somewhat derogatory term for people who decide to emigrate.
Yeah, but you are in a better position in a way that in Latvia we not only have a huge immigration, but we also have an idea. Someone is telling us constantly that Estonia is in a better position with that problem.
Well, Estonians are always complaining how bad it is at home. So I should show you this.
So you can
how bad it is to live in Estonia, or how bad it is to be an Estonian. I'm going to show it to you later. Yeah, it's from this popular show Tujurikkoja. It's like mood killer. They show it at New Year's Eve.
It's a New Year's Eve song.
Yeah, it's a show. I should show it to you because it's very ironic. It's about Estonians complaining constantly how bad it's terrible here. Weather is bad, the people suck. It's awful.
No, we would want to see that in Latvia, because it would be very therapy-wise. Would be very nice for many people. Just as a relief that not only they are in a. For general public, I need to ask that strange question. How did you choose Baltic states? Because you are here and you have lived in all Baltic states. Yeah. Yes. Are we so good that you are here?
Well, I mean, I was a foreign student at the University of Tartu many years ago, and just kind of. That's how everything started. I started slowly learning Estonian. I traveled to Latvia and Lithuania, and just...
You suddenly, from Nebraska, you suddenly went to Tartu?
Through an exchange program.
Ah.
At the time, there were other exchange programs available at my university, but
no special interest in Baltic states, just...
I don't have any roots as far as I know. I didn't know really anything about the Baltic at all, and that's kind of part of the pull. That's kind of why, partially why...
If you knew something, then you won't
maybe
go. Very nice.
I never thought about it. We'll never know that.
You are so perfect in serving authors. You work not only as a translator, but you try to develop these find places where to publish it. Mm-hmm. Actually, your work as a literary agent, we need to fight for your attention, I think, no?
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, the thing is, like, we have quite a few people kind of working on this at the moment, and I think the most important thing is you find the authors that you feel speak to the English-speaking public, and then you make a decision to work with the kind of people that you think that could be of interest to to people abroad. I have a vested interest in it because I enjoy these literatures. So for me, it's almost a natural extension. I never really think about serving as much as it is a joy to get those authors out there that I feel say something, and that what they say is almost universal.
But you don't have author's ambitions yourself, or you write yourself too?
I think everybody has something in their computer or in their drawers, if it was 30 years ago. But we see. So there's some stuff in my computer. At some point, I have a yellow press message that J. Tomass is revealed, and he has Lithuanian pen name. Yes, but I have yet to publish anything, so we'll see. You'll have to guess who that is. So.